the Be Myself and I podcast. It's the Be Myself and I podcast. And I do not have time to sit around here arguing with y'all. So I would say drop my beat, but I don't know where it's at this very moment. I have to locate my beat. There's some things going on that I can't explain. I can't explain, but I will. But I'll wait for more people to get in here. Get in here. Let's talk. We're live on YouTube broadcasting. Get in here. Let's talk. Let me call Facebook over here. That's where my audience at. Facebook, where you at now? Where you at? Let's see if I can call some people to the live. Get in here. Once we got some people in here, we'll get going. Let me see. I'm going to the chat. Where the chat at? Very good. Join. Oh. No, can't do that. But get in here. Let's talk, y'all. Let me see what's going on. I'm going to check something out. I want to see what's going on. I'm going to wait for some people to get in the room. See what's going on. What's going on? 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 Yes, 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 yes. I'm going to send a link, share a link to my. Show supposed to start at 10:10. I know, I know. All right, so I'm putting the link out on Facebook so we can get some peoples in here. Get any Let's Talk, y'all. I'm BB. This is BBTV, and I was actually going to call this live gatekeeping. That's the subject that's on my heart. That's what I want to talk about tonight, and I hope that you guys will engage me in this conversation on gatekeeping and why it seems to be so prevalent in our community, especially amongst the entrepreneurs and the business folk. I feel like, and I'm gonna just say this. This is exactly why people say you can't give black people nothing. You can't give black people nothing because why do we get so selfish and greedy when we finally get something? You would think we would want the rest of our people to feel as good as we feel now that we got a little something, but we tend to try to hold back from one another and make sure the next one don't get. And it's just sad. If I can be completely honest, it's very sad that we treat each other like that. And I definitely I'm not a big fan of it. So that's where I'm at with that. I've definitely had a lot of experiences myself with gatekeeping. Um, just one experience that comes directly to mind is I recorded a rap album in 2020, and I was able to get that done and record with someone who was a very big up and coming artist in Charleston, and they had a great studio. He was a professional. There was never no issues with our recordings, and it was really awesome working with this person. But prior to finding them, I was working with the producer and we were having all these problems. They got issues with their romantic situation. We having issues in the studio. Now they want people to pay dues to use the studio and do all of this different stuff. And we just were bumping heads, and it wasn't working. And when we finally stopped working together, we just stopped working together, and that was that. Okay, now shortly after that, um, is when I bump into the guy who ends up and records my music. And shout out to Scooter Cease. That's who it was. We had a great recording session. But I later found out that the guy that I had been working with prior could have sent me to Scooter Cease the whole time. They knew him great. They know that he does music. They knew that he had a studio. All could have been send me to do. Cause I just feel like when it comes to artistry, if our chemistry, if we don't have chemistry, we just don't have chemistry. That's fine. But that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna have some good artistic chemistry elsewhere. And if your commitment is to good art and not to wanting to be the person who is the wanting to pigeonhole or gatekeep from somebody, like then it shouldn't be a problem to be like, look, me and you keep butting heads, but I have a referral. Like, why don't Necros understand that referrals are things that people do in business? Hey, we can't do business together, but I'm going to now refer you to someone else who can do business with you. Go over there. What's the issue? Like, I always wonder about that with black people. Like, what is the issue? I want y'all to talk to me about this in the chat. Let me know. What exactly is the issue? Why people don't understand that, the gatekeeping? Why can't you just go over there? That's what I wonder. I'm waiting on people to join this live, but they taking too long. I think I would just go live on Facebook too. Cause why y'all doing that? Y'all be handsome, but be 5'7". That's somebody a joke on Facebook. Y'all be handsome, but be 5'7". Lord, in it, little candle. But getting here, let's talk. I wanted to discuss gatekeeping, and I hope that y'all will engage me on this. Give me a second. I trying to call Facebook over here because we need to get some people so that this can be a good conversation. All right, I'm going live on Facebook too because it's the first one and I can't expect everybody to understand already. So I'm gonna go live on Facebook too. So mind y'all business, I'm gonna have to do a whole nother a whole second introduction. Get in here, let's talk. Hurry up and get in here, let's talk. Facebook, I told y'all we going live on YouTube tonight. I'm trying to do a thing. Y'all gotta help me do this thing now. Oh, excuse me. I'm going live on YouTube tonight. It's not here. Not here. Where y'all at? I can't see nothing in the chat. And so I'm gonna go live on Facebook too. Um, Get in here, let's talk. It's the Be Myself and I podcast. I'm BB. Get in here, let's talk. And tonight's discussion is gatekeeping. I want to talk gatekeeping. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook, and we live. I know I need to go live on Instagram, y'all, and I'm not ready. I'm not ready. The Instagram crowd be it's different. It's different over there. The Instagram crowd be making me uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable on the Instagram crowd. So just get in here. Let's We're live on BBTV. I'm BB, and if I'm on camera, then it's BBTV. Oh, so get in here. Let's talk. I want to have this discussion today on gatekeeping. I had a lot to talk about with it. Gatekeeping is something that for me, I've experienced a lot of it, and especially being from a small town. And I want to discuss what y'all think it is about us, why we don't like to teach a man to fish. What's the saying? Give a man a fish, feed him for the day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime. What is it in us? Why we do not like to teach a man to fish is something. Y'all put it in the comments. Let's have this conversation. I want to talk about gatekeeping. Being in the entertainment industry, I have seen a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of gatekeeping. I just told a story that y'all missed it. Y'all missed it, Facebook, because I don't know how to. Listen. My podcast used to be done on Spotify for podcasters. Spotify have been telling us for like 2 months now, and I've been ignoring them because I've been like, no, Spotify don't do that because I don't know what that means. I'm not tech savvy. I'm gonna have to figure it out. But Spotify has been telling us for a very long time that they were going to switch their recording tools to make everybody use Riverside. And Riverside is a recording thing that allows you to stream live. And it's like, why? I should have been not doing this anyway. I've really been shooting my own self in the foot by using just Facebook to go live on, because if people on Facebook like my lives, then it should be on other streams on other platforms as well. So now that I'm kind of being forced to make my podcast a bigger standout thing in my entertainment repertoire, by switching to Riverside, I'm figuring it out. So I don't know how to do everything. All I know is right now I got the free Riverside, and so I can only broadcast on one thing at a time. And I was trying to make it go to Facebook, but I was having difficulties, but it was able to connect up to my YouTube much easier. And I think that's because most people who use Riverside and StreamYard and these different streaming platforms like that tend to be YouTubers. So basically, I'm kind of, through my podcast, making these huge changes. I'm kind of being forced to become a YouTuber, something people have been advising me to try for the longest. I ain't even gonna lie. So I'm a YouTuber now, guys. And so I'm going to start doing these lives on YouTube, and I want to have these conversations. And you know what? This is just like back in the day when I first started with my Getting Here Let's Talk, with my talk show called Ask Ebony. That's how it was. It was interactive. It was a talk show. I got high engagement, and I want to get back to that. And then by it broadcasting live on YouTube. So this same broadcast is going on YouTube right now. By it being live on YouTube at the same time, that helps me garnish a whole nother audience. Then everybody can talk in the chat. Facebook, where y'all at? Facebook crew, stand up. We're live on This is the Be Myself and I podcast. You're no longer going to have to go run and go join Spotify, this and that, to just watch my podcast. My podcast is going to be live on YouTube, and that's how it's going to go. I have to figure out how to get my song back to my theme song. Like, let me look right now. Actually, I'm sitting here on this computer right now. I'm going to see if I can find my theme song, because I don't mind that y'all change everything, but all of our recordings from all of the old recordings are gone. So the podcast episodes that are up, I can download those if I want to get like those, but I can never access that material again. And I had so much stuff going on that I just let them do this. But now I feel like, how I let them boy do this. Let me see if I can find my theme music, my beat, my podcast beat. I don't know where it's at. I can't find it. But y'all know I have a beat for my podcast, and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find it later. But it go like this. Boom, 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 boom. That's how my beat go. And I want to find it, but I don't know where it's at. And so I know for a fact it's in my phone. I know for a fact it's in my phone. Let me see if I can find them over here. I'm looking through my files right now to see if I can find that beat. I ain't gonna look for the beat while we watching the thing. But yeah, I can't find my beat for my podcast. But anyway, let's have this conversation, y'all. Engage me. Chat. I wish I could figure out what's going on with the YouTube. Can y'all talk on YouTube? That's the studio chat. Where is the live stream chat? I don't see it. Message everyone. Hello and welcome. Hold on. Welcome to the Be Myself and I podcast. Tell me what you think about gatekeeping. Have you experienced it in your life, field of work, or amongst your peers in interpersonal relationships. Let's chat about it. All right. I just want to see what happens when I share a message. Clearly, it won't be shared on Facebook, but I want to know if it's going to be shared on YouTube. I'm guessing it will. But yeah, does anybody want to comment on that? What do y'all know about gatekeeping? How do y'all feel about it? Like I said, I told a story before I went live on here that I experienced it with every aspect of what I was doing in Charleston. And it's a funny thing because I used to argue that people didn't realize the value of information, but I had to eat those words because I realized people do realize how valuable information is. And that is exactly why some people gatekeep because they know that if they this certain person, if they just had this little bit of information, they might now be able to run past me. They might now be able to do better than me. It is a selfish kind of attitude, and it's just, it comes from this place of do good but don't do better than me. Sorry, this earring is hurting because I think the thing is bent. Yep, that's exactly why. So let me fix this one too. But yeah, so I know that in Hollywood and in the twisted, very rough music industry, that's a big thing. A big part of why so many of these whistleblowers in Hollywood are coming out is because they recognize that by gatekeeping this information, see, nothing that they are saying that people are coming out is actually news to them and the people in Hollywood. It's news to us. And the reason why a lot of these people are coming out because they realize how harmful it is to gatekeep information that is actively hurting people. Case in point, by keeping all of these things about P. Diddy, for example, secret, only just the elite know. We still gonna party with him, we still gonna be his friend, but we know he's involved in some senator stuff. But we're gonna keep that information. We're gonna gatekeep that information from the public that allowed somebody like Cassie to be abused for what, 15 years she was with Diddy? So gatekeeping can be very dangerous. I want to know what you think. What have you experienced by, in gatekeeping? Have you experienced gatekeeping? How would you say it has affected you and what you were trying to do? I told a story earlier that was about how somebody was gatekeeping information from me when I first started out with music. As I got deeper into music, I kept bumping into people who could help me way more than the first person I worked with was able to help me. And I found out that the person who I was working with knew all of these people who ended up actually helping me with my music, but they kept that information away from me because they only wanted me to work with them. Gatekeeping. So, but here's the thing you got to know if you know the word of God. Delayed is not denied. They might have kept me from working with a bunch of people at the time. But eventually, I found out who was the best person in Charleston to record with. I found out who was the best person to buy beats from. I found out. I just had to, it took a little longer. So I was thinking about that today because I've been at this for several years now, and it goes up and it goes down. At this, what is what? My podcast, talk show, music, comedy. I have been pursuing all of these artistic passions for several years now, and a lot of times I get frustrated because I feel like I've been going too hard, and why hasn't it gotten where I need it to be yet? And I feel like that sometimes, but then I was thinking about this yesterday. Uh, Actually, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Actually, it's taking longer because I'm not taking any shortcuts. Actually, in light of we were just talking about Hollywood and stuff, it is becoming more and more clear as these bombshell secrets keep dropping from Hollywood that that fast route almost certainly means that you had to do things that you didn't want to do. Lots of these people, let's just tell the truth, they screw their ways to the top. I was never gonna do that. Besides screwing their way to the top, they enhance their bodies to get to the top. They do all these different things. I remember I used to love Pink, y'all. And when Pink first did her first R&B album, and then she came out with her pop album after that, and then we later found out that Pink always wanted to be a rock star. But she said in my favorite, one of my favorite songs on her first album, where she completely switched genres, she had that line and "Don't Let Me Get Me." L.A. told me you'll be a pop star. All you have to change is everything you are. And that is true, isn't it? Coming out more and more when we watching all of these stories come out with Holly Weir, that's what people do. So I take that information into myself, and that's why I don't get down about not being as far along in entertainment as I wished I was, because I'm staying true to myself. I'm not altering my body. I'm not talking about stuff that I don't want to talk about. If I start stepping wrong and go too far down a path that is deviated from my God, then I'm gonna turn around and delete all that and start over. Like, because I do follow Jesus and I love Jesus first. And so all of that, but it means in this wicked worldly world that it takes me a lot longer to get where I'm going with this. And I'm okay with that because I love the Lord. I love the Lord. But I don't see y'all commenting. Talk to me about gatekeeping and what your experience is with that. Why do y'all think people do that? I'll give my idea. I believe it has something to do with slave mentality. I'll be honest, especially what I've experienced in Charleston. I feel like the reason why these other ethnicities and their cultures, one reason why they get further along is because they go together. I found out how to get this nice loan for my home, and I found a loophole in this certain thing, and I'm gonna tell my brother how to do the same thing. I mean, we love to make fun of it in the comedy world. If people love to joke about how the Mexicans and the Spanish folk, the Latin people, work together, how them boy will have four families in one house until they all can spread out in this one body until they can working together. So I truly think that it's slave mentality a lot of the time that keep us like, no, I don't want you to have nothing, because if I ain't got it, I don't want you to have it. And it's just, it's killing us. I used to get so frustrated in my hometown. So I'll say this, y'all. My hometown is Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston, South Carolina is a place that is so rich in culture and history. And the Gullah Geechee culture is just, it permeates the city. And it's just like a beautiful, beautiful thing. But I found when, I was there, I just used to feel like the people around, the gatekeepers, the pigeon holders, the trolls, the people who were upset when I started to start to move up in my career. I just used to feel like there is no way they truly understand our history to be displaying these same attitudes that, like, we still on the plantation. After I got to Atlanta, somebody actually had said this to me. Um, Cause I was just like, I don't know why I just never fit in Charleston. I didn't. I never in school I didn't fit in, I just never fit in. So I ended up being a chameleon, and I just went into all the different groups because I never really felt completely at home in any one single group. Excuse me, y'all. Let me take a sip of this coffee. But yeah, so I felt like I never really fit in any single group, so I ended up just being a chameleon, and I don't know, it's just bouncing around to the different groups. I really started to see differences between the way different kinds of people treat each other. Like, I'm gonna just say this: the way the white churn used to treat each other, and the way the black churns treat each other. Like, it really goes all the way back that deep to how we first start treating each other. Like, it's like I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like I said, I'm guessing it's like slave mentality, but it also make me feel like, how it's 2024, and I don't want to decide that everybody just evil and wicked. Okay, come on, Dickie Torberry, Dickie Touchberry, say something. Charleston got number one for the 12th year, best place in the United States on the news yesterday. Best place. I believe that number one for the 12th year, best place. I think that's awesome. I really do. Um, I don't know. Charleston is a beautiful city. Charleston is a like I said, it's so rich in culture and this and that and the third. And I used to really feel like people didn't know. But like I said, as I kept moving in my career, people do know. They know. They know the history. So I don't know. I just don't know what it is that make us stay in competition with each other instead of all um you know what I mean? Like instead of everybody just banding up together and coming up together. And so I really don't know. But back to what I was saying about like coming up, it I think these things start even as far back in grade school. I think these things go back really far where, and I don't know. I really don't know. Um One of the things that it still sucks when you grow up here, but I still love it. I don't think Charleston sucks. Honestly, thank you, Dickie Touchberry, for talking. I I love Charleston. I can honestly say that it's small, but I was very familiar. I lived there the most of my life, so it's very comfortable for me moving around in its different little, like thing Charleston itself I love, but some of the mentality around there made it so I couldn't stay. And so it is what it is. But like I said, I had a lot of experiences in my career with the pigeonhole, and I gave the example with the music. Like I said, when I started music, somebody knew exactly where to send me and wouldn't send me there. You know what I mean? Like, oh my goodness, it's just there's something I don't know. There's something about this liquor. I feel like saying that real quick. But what I'm saying is, when we help each other, we win. And so I'm not trying to bash Charleston by any means. I'm actually going to move on and talk about how the lack of gatekeeping has been very helpful for me in Atlanta, because where I was kind of used to having to fight for every piece of information moving around the Charleston crowd, I had to fight for everything, fight for my little piece of crumb from the pot, fight for my little slice of the pie. I had to fight for a lot of those things. While I had to do that, I came to Atlanta and so much was just handed to me. Not and I can't even lie. Even my place to stay, a lot of things were just handed to me. And I'm not saying that's realistic. I'm just saying that there was an attitude of I want this person to succeed. I can honestly say that somebody said that to me. Somebody who was cool with me here, and that was the first one of the things that they said to me that let me know that, this person is probably about to be a real life friend. When they said to me, BB, I want you to succeed. I don't want to see you fail here. So I really saw that. And what I also saw was like networking is so huge here. Something that was has been really cool in Atlanta is when I meet people, other folks around here, and once you start opening up, someone is always trying to help you get to the next step. Like, Matt, prime example, I was on a live today. I went live and I was walking to the corner store. I'm walking to the corner store and I bump into this dude who I used to interact with a little bit when I first moved here. I used to interact with them a lot, okay? And so when I first moved here, and then I stopped because we just had some issues and I stopped interacting with the person. So today I'm out walking and I bump into that person, and they are with someone else at the time. Long story short, the person they are with is a music producer. And they have been one of the things me and that person were talking about when we were interacting is how he knew somebody who I could work with to make music. And that it could be a cheaper avenue for me because they got some talent that they're trying to get seen out there, and I got some talent that I need to get seen so we could work together and all of that. Long story short, I bump into them today and he immediately link us up. Y'all exchange numbers. And that's how it be. Like, that's how it's been in Atlanta, and I love that for Atlanta. Atlanta has programs where it's just like a networking thing. Everybody come out and network. Like, it's amazing. And so I like that. It's just different for me. I remember one of the times there was an issue at my house and my landlord had to send somebody to fix the issue. And the person came to the house. It was a black guy. He fixed the issue. And then when I talked back to my landlord, um, there was a joke that had happened, and the guy kind of asked me if my landlord was black because of something that happened while he was fixing the issue. So I said it to my landlord, and I don't know if I offended him or not, but he definitely like corrected me right away. I had just moved to Atlanta, and I just, after everything was said over, and I said, "Yeah, the guy asked me if you were black," and I said, "Kinda." LOL. I thought it was just a joke, and he would find it funny. He did not find it funny because he was like, "What's this color thing?" Like, that was one of my first realizations when I got to Georgia, like that I was dealing with a different kind of people. All that black and white stuff that I was really more used to in Charleston was different. But my landlord was like, "What does my color have to do with it? We get shit done over here." And it's like, ooh, come through. And I had to apologize, like, "I'm sorry. It was just a little joke. And I thought I was just going to share a little." But that was my first little view into, like, yeah, them people ain't on that, like, cracker nigga, nigga, cracker shit around here. It's just, it's not about that. And it was very warm for me, as well as it was different. And, like, again, I run into people around here and they stay like I use Uber. I lost my car since I moved to Atlanta, so I have to Uber around and bike and walk places. But I get into Ubers and I talk to people, and they always got some information. When I first lost my car, and like one of the first times I jumped into an Uber, the Uber driver told me where I could go quickly go get a Raggedy Cash card, like real fast, if I wanted to hurry up and get back in a car real fast. And so I'm saying, like, people just don't seem to be stingy with information. And information can be so valuable, and it's good when people aren't stingy with it. But what do y'all think, y'all? Where y'all at, YouTube viewers? Where y'all at? Let me see if I can go to YouTube and find out and see the views on YouTube. Give me a second. I'm trying to figure this out. Would I have to watch it myself from a different YouTube page? Y'all, again, I'm just trying to figure this thing out. Um my my podcast platform is forcing everybody to go to video podcasts, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? Forcing everybody to use Riverside, and I'm just like, no, no. And so that's what's happening. So I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm looking to see if there's anything in the chat. Okay, and there's not. Very good. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, go to the chat. If y'all put your what am I trying to say? Put your information in the chat if you have dealt with gatekeeping or you understand what it is. If you want to know what it is, let's talk about it. What is it about our sometimes friends and family and culture that keep us from sharing with one another? Sharing is caring, guys, and it's so much fun. And so that's my talk tonight, y'all. Y'all come back to this and write in the chat, talk about it. I just want to be able to discuss this whole concept of sharing, and when we don't share, and what happens when we don't share in this talk about gatekeeping with BB. So this has been fun, y'all. Again, this is a weird thing for me. I'm used to doing my podcast without being on video, being able to add in my music and my little sound clips, and I don't know how I'm going to get this podcast back up and running because I got to learn how to use Riverside. Now I got to learn how to use this whole new platform. But right right now, I'm just going to just keep the podcast going by going live, having these discussions. I hope that y'all can enjoy these discussions and all of that. So thank you. Until next time. I love you very much. Mind your business and read your Bible. Bye. Goodbye. All right, y'all. Until next time, mind your business. Read your Bible.